So in March, they passed Article 23 in Hong Kong, and that's got a lot of people really terrified. Can you tell us why there's so much fear around Article 23, considering there's already the national security law?
Yeah, this is the local version of the NSL, and like most business people, they don't like the fact that if you get arrested, you don't get access to a lawyer for the first 48 hours, and then you could get detained for like 16 days, right? And then pretty much with the enactment of the NSL back in 2020, the totalitarian regime can do whatever they want. But now they just make it into like the Hong Kong version of the NSL, which is more strict. And then interaction with, for instance, like foreigners is becoming more dangerous, and you could get locked up in prison for like 10 years if you criticize the government. So it's more stiff, it's more harsh, and then it's more than surreal to see that Hong Kong has turned into pretty much a police state. If you think of a 2020 NSL is bad, this is much, much worse. So I guess it's bad for business, but of course the security chief, Chris Tang, and also Li Ka-chiu, which is the chief executive of Hong Kong, they say, after the political part is done, they will focus on businesses, but there are no more businesses. Honestly, the way they make this extreme makeover of Hong Kong. So I'm pretty pessimistic about the whole thing.
Yeah, that's what's amazing about this. It's not just Hong Kong democracy activists who are scared, but businesses, foreign businessmen in Hong Kong, because this is very threatening to them.
I don't know. Like it seems like I don't know whether it's from Beijing or just that Li Ka-chiu, John Lee, and Chris Tang. These are like hardcore police people, right? They're policemen, and then they don't know anything about businesses. They don't know anything about IT, logistics. They know how to suppress people, and then they learn a lot, I guess, from Shabalong, which is their boss, about fear. Now, Shabalong tear down all the crosses in Wenzhou, right? As we all know, and then they are also being sanctioned by the former U.S. Government, the Trump administration, for destroying Hong Kong's autonomy. So if you put all of these guys together with the former CE, Harry Lam, and all that, these are very, very bad people who are trying to administer Hong Kong. How can you do that? So I guess Hong Kong right now is like 1950s, like in Shanghai when the entrepreneurs, the industrialists, they leave Shanghai for a better future, so they come to Hong Kong, right, at that time. This is pretty much there is some similarity to it because also people fear about the um, the assets that they have could be confiscated easily, yeah, because of all the new laws. And then if you talk about the finance space, if you are in a regulated environment, let's say you have to be regulated as a fund manager in Hong Kong, I see the risk of having arbitrarily being arrested for saying the wrong thing. They could frame you into it. So the other option is look into uh, places where there is a common law is practiced. So definitely Singapore. If I take a look at high tech, and there isn't too many high tech firms in Hong Kong, definitely the ship is to Taiwan.
Well, I want to ask this. The Chinese economy is doing pretty bad right now. How much of what's happening in Hong Kong do you think is just good old communists stealing people's wealth?
Now, China is not doing well real estate wise. It's bad, but Hong Kong, you see all these so-called. We don't have any more technocrats. First of all, if you talk about those who are civil servants trained properly, but those top down, these are all loyalists. And then the civil service, the civil servants who left in 2019, a lot of them, they are part of the diaspora community. Hong Kong, actually, it's famous for being an international financial center then. And now, what is left? The infrastructure wise, I don't think it's doing well. And also the local retail, right? And then I met the three of you, I guess, back 4 years ago, 2019, right, when we were still in Hong Kong. But now, if you take a look at the streets of Hong Kong, it's just that quiet, and there's a lot of bankruptcy being filed by SMEs. So if you talk about the vibrancy, it's not quite there.
So what are SMEs?
Small, medium enterprises.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're talking about things like restaurants, bookstores, that kind of shop is being shut down.
Not enough people because, first of all, the people in Hong Kong, they don't want to stay in Hong Kong for the weekend. They go to Shenzhen, right? Because it's already being suppressed. And every day when you turn on the TV, the radio, or especially, like TVB, for instance, which is more like a propaganda machine now. Everything you see, it's pro government, right? And then they talk about you have to be, like almost like a loyalist. So these things, I guess the normal everyday person, they for a long weekend just cross the border, which is kind of blurry right now. But then at least you got some service and it's cheaper. They don't want to think about Hong Kong. And every place you go to, there is a police car almost, right? And you talk, and remember, since you guys also did an episode on Article 23 recently, what is really kind of bothering me, it's if you go for a confession session at a Catholic church, it would be tapped right now, right? Because the father has to report about the confessor if it is potentially against state secret, for instance, right? Or they try to topple the government, right? So the father has to make this call, so-called the judgment call, just to make sense. I mean, the Catholic fathers is accountable. It's like a lynch between the confessor and God, right? Why should I report to the policeman? So this is just beyond ridiculous the way I look at this Article 23 thing.